Incoming email.
What you want to know?
Craig's Corner. Hey, welcome to Craig's Corner for Friday, September 14th, 2012. Today we're going to talk about feedback. A lot of you know what it is and how it's created, but some of you may not, and I can also give you some tips about how to avoid it. So here's my little silly example. Imagine this is your microphone, because, well, it's a microphone, but imagine that the end of this cable is a speaker, and that what I say into the microphone comes out of that speaker. Okay. So if you're in a venue and the PA speakers are in front of your microphone, you'd imagine it would be something like this, where you've got the mic taking the signal, goes through the cable and then out the speaker. And what it's doing is it's going away from the microphone. The microphone itself has what we call a polar pattern or a pickup pattern, which means that it picks up sound from one direction and tries to reject it from other directions. So something like an MP75 here has quite a small polar pattern. It's a tight pattern right here. So that's why we often tell you to sort of eat the mic when you're up on it, because it's trying to reject sound from quite a sharp angle or wide angle behind it. What happens is if your microphone, so you're singing in, it's shooting out the speaker. If your microphone picks up from all around it, which we call an omni-directional pattern, or in a figure eight, it would be from the front and the back, but you wouldn't have that on a dynamic mic. What happens is the sound comes out of the speaker, goes back into the mic, down the cable, out of the speaker, back into the mic, and there's your feedback loop. Now, that's applicable to recording. So if you have a send that goes into a return, it'll go back around and around in a circle, the same way that it applies to audio in a live situation. So the couple of things that you can do to try and avoid feedback. One of the main ones being always make sure that your PA speakers are out in front of your microphone. If they're back behind you like this, what are they doing? They're shooting sound out that's getting picked up by the microphone. It's going back through the PA speakers. I'm going to do lots of these today. Same thing goes for the room itself. If the room is really bouncy, the sound can shoot off the walls and come back and get into your microphone. So using a mic with the tightest polar pattern you can, getting right on top of it so that the level is set when you're really close to it. You don't want to be singing way out here, because you can imagine the sound is going out into the room, and if your voice needs to travel this distance to get to the mic, all of that room sound is also going to travel right through here, and it's going to go right into the mic. If you have the mic set sensitively enough that you can get right up on it without, picking up stuff when you're back here, it's also not going to pick up the room when you're back here. So get right up on top of it there. The other thing would be monitoring. Often you go to a gig or a rehearsal and you've got a couple of floor monitors that are coming up from below you, or a single one. Often messing with the angle that those monitors sit on, and obviously their volume, will have a lot to do with the way that sound comes back up into the mic. So if you have your mic flat like this and the monitor coming up into it like this, try tilting it up, try tilting it down, try moving your monitor in relation to the mic, in different places. That can often help quite a bit as well. Transducer effects within our products also are very feedback prone, because what's happening is it's doing a big spike in the EQ in order to give you that really filtered sound. It's same with distortions, that kind of stuff. It can really spike feedback. So when you have your feedback managed well within the space, then the chances of those transducer effects causing the feedback does greatly reduce. But we also have within most of the transducer effect blocks the ability to set a different gate level, and you might want to set that threshold quite a bit higher. So it would be high enough that if I'm talking into the mic right here, it literally wouldn't be picking up, and I'd have to get right up on it and go, hey, into the mic, and then the transducer gate would open up and allow that transducer sound to come through. And as soon as you stop singing or you back off of the mic, that gate closes down and doesn't allow the feedback loop to continue. It's a really good way of trying to reduce it in that situation. But ultimately, I can't cover every venue, every mic, every PA, every setup that's going on, but just giving you the idea that you don't want the sound to come out of somewhere and then go back into the microphone. If you can think about where those sounds are coming from and how they're being picked up by your mic, you can really reduce feedback a lot. The one poke I'm going to give here, guitar players, other band members, turn down your freaking stage volume. You don't need to have your stage volume so loud. The PA can do the work for you. And from an audience perspective, if you're hearing a balanced mix where the front of house guy or whoever's doing the mix in your band for the PA is able to actually turn up and down the guitar, the bass, the snare drum, any of that kind of stuff, they have a much better chance of actually making your sound good for the room. I mean, that's the sound guy's job. Blowing somebody away with too much volume and ultimately with a bad mix where the vocal ends up being buried and all you're getting is a huge, load of kick drum. I'm sure that you've probably been to arena shows where that happens. They just have this gigantic thundering low end and then you can't hear any of the vocals. That doesn't really suit the audience or serve the audience very well. So, let your sound guy do his job. Turn your guitar amp down on stage, and if you need more guitar sound, get some back through your monitor. Now, that's not super awesome in terms of, being a big, loud guitar rock god, but it makes your sound come across better to the audience, and in the long run, that's the best thing you can do to make your band be received well by the crowd. So I know that's a bit of a jab at you guys, but it was something that I learned to do really early on in my band career. Was just I had a big Marshall amp and I'd run it at like 3 out of 10 because that helped the sound guy give me a better sound out front, and that's really what it's all about. So hope that helps a little bit, and hope you don't mind that I'm digging at the band guys there, but it happens. We all know that there's guitar wanker guy who's out there at 9 million decibels and you're trying to sing over top of it and it's just impossible. So go out there and give your guitar guy an elbow there and get him to turn down. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.